Hello guys, welcome to OGCJ Q&A, episode 1. So, I should have made this a while ago. Like 3 months ago, I started this whole Q&A announcement. And I'm not going to make any more announcement videos because the Q&A, I'm just going to start doing it, as soon as I have enough questions. So, ask your questions at ask.fm/OGCJofficial. So, first question. Do you like or dislike spicy food? It really depends on how spicy it is. I'm not really gonna be like, oh, this is spicy, so I like it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too spicy, to be honest. So I guess the answer to that, I guess I kind of dislike spicy food. If it's mildly spicy, I'll eat it, but otherwise, probably not. What noise do you hear right now? That's a weird question, but I hear birds chirping outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Probably not. Can you recommend anything to read? No. I'm not really big on, I'm not really a big book reader. I usually read articles online. I think those are more entertaining for me. And plus I write my own fiction. How do you see yourself spending your time in your old age? Still making videos on the internet. I'm serious. I'm still gonna be on YouTube if it exists by the time I'm like 60, 70 years old. I've been doing it for 8 years now, and I'm going to continue doing it. Who's the last person you saw? My father, I guess. What's something you should throw away but can't? There's nothing I should throw away but can't. There's stuff that's laying around that I should throw away. It's not that I can't throw it away, it's just I'm too lazy. But, what is something you have lost that you wish you could get back? That's interesting. I guess this is actually not physical possessions, but more like the videos that I've made in the past that have gotten deleted, either because of channels getting hacked. I think that's happened to me twice. I've gotten 2 channels hacked, and, I got, what happened else? When I was young, I just deleted videos all the time, so that was a big mistake on my part. I still have my first video online. I think that's up right now. I have, from '06. I have a couple of videos from '06. I have a couple of videos from '07. I don't think I have videos from '08 and '09, but I haven't posted them yet. So, we'll just, I'll get that to a later date. As soon as I'm too lazy to post new content, I guess I'll post old stuff. Just for you guys, liking. How would you change the world if you could? This is like a deep question. I don't really know how I would change the world. Well, if there was one thing I would change about the world, I would guess... I think the thing that I would change the most would be getting rid of cancer. All those diseases, because I think that's the one thing that needs changed the most, because that's how a lot of people are dying. And all these diseases, like, I had an aunt that just died last week because of Alzheimer's disease. She had it for like a year or two, and it got to her. So she died after 10 funeral services really soon. I don't really know anyone who died of cancer, but I've heard, friends who had mothers who died of cancer, and, people, it's just terrible. All these diseases and stuff, I think that's what I would change, actually. Thanks for the question. It was really, yeah. If you could have dinner with any political figure, dead or alive, who would you pick? This is actually really, really interesting, and I think I would pick Kim Jong-un. And the reason why I'm going to pick Kim Jong-un is because, I don't know, it's just, despite all the stuff about him, he's a terrible man, don't get me wrong. But I just think it would just be interesting to actually talk to Kim Jong-un. Hear his story, and, what he's gonna, tell me, North Korea is the best place to live, or whatever, but it would just be interesting to hear from Kim Jong-un. I don't know if this is gonna be a sensitive thing to answer, but regardless, that's who I would pick. When will you buy a capture card? Never. What is the best thing to eat for breakfast? Well, for breakfast, I guess I would eat, I always like eating bagels with butter. It's just buttered bagels taste the best for breakfast. So, yeah. Let me see some more questions. Do you think that your videos are better than PewDiePie? I think anyone's videos are better than PewDiePie. How many subscribers would you think you will have at the end of this year? I have no idea. I passed 1,000 like a couple of months ago. Who knows? Maybe I could hit 2,000 at the end of the year. I mean, who knows? I mean, the year this was asked 3 months ago, so. But now it's July, August, September, October, November, December. So I have like 5 months to get 2,000 subscribers, which is kind of my goal, I guess you could say. But I don't know if I think I'm going to have 2,000 by the end of the year, but I hope to get 2,000. How come you're so vague in your reviews? I'm not. Why do you put no effort into your videos? I put no effort into my videos. Well, first of all, YouTube's not my profession. It's my hobby. If I want to work hard on a video, which I sometimes do, I will. If I don't want to work hard, I won't. Just as simple as that. Why do you keep ban evading on DeviantArt? What the hell are you talking about? I think this is coming from SpikeXT. I'm not sure. This guy's a troll, and he keeps like messing with me, saying, "Oh, you ban evading on DeviantArt." Please. How come you don't like any good games? Well, that's your opinion. If you don't think that Star Wars Battlefront is a good game, if you don't think that games like Call of Duty are good games, if you don't think that a couple Sonic games are good, then that's on you. But Grand Theft Auto 5 is good. Watch Dogs is pretty good. What other games do I like? I mean, the question wasn't what games do I like. The question was, how come you don't like any good games? But I'm listing games that I like that got positive reviews. So I'm just saying I don't only like negative games. Explain how Mario's a rehash but Call of Duty isn't. Simple. Mario, you see, the thing that Mario does, if you have New Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3 onwards, it's the same. And the original Super Mario 1, 2, and 3 are the same thing, except for the United States version of Super Mario 2. I mean the Japanese version, the real Super Mario Bros. 2. They're all the same games. They're just different. Like the level designs, like you could tell it's similar and all this stuff. But the thing about Call of Duty is that when you're playing a story, it's completely different. When you're playing online, it's completely different every game. The guns are different, all that stuff. So everything's different in Call of Duty. It has the same core mechanic because it's a first-person shooter. I think Call of Duty did the best job they could on making the game different. For a first-person shooter game. But I think Call of Duty Ghosts was a bad game, not because I thought it was the same game, just because I thought it was a bad one. I just didn't like it. Have you ever played Okami? No, I haven't. I don't even know what that is. But whatever. How come you say autism isn't real when there's plenty of medical research that proves its existence? The medical research that proves its existence isn't sufficient enough to convince me, because it's simply it's a way to diagnose kids and give them prescriptions. That's what I think it is, honestly. False diagnosis happens all the time. If autism is real, I can't tell, because all of these people are getting falsely diagnosed who don't even have anything. 5 questions in 1. What is your favorite game console? I'm just going to tackle this one by one. My favorite game console is probably the PlayStation 2. And why I'm going to say that is the first console I played was the Nintendo 64. But I was 3 years old when I started playing that. But the first console I actually had that I owned, like my sister had the N64. My first console, for my 6th birthday, I asked for a PlayStation 2. I remember this. My first game was, I think it was on the PS2, I think it was either The Hobbit. Yeah, it was The Hobbit, ATV Off-Road Fury 2, because that came with the PS2, and Sonic Heroes. Those are the 3 games I got with my PlayStation 2 for my 6th birthday. So yeah, my favorite game is Star Wars Battlefront 1. The first Star Wars Battlefront. It's my favorite game. Favorite underrated game. Wow, this guy's good. He asks really good questions. My favorite underrated game. That's actually pretty interesting. A lot of underrated games that I like. I can name one underrated game off of my head. the Crash Bandicoot games that were the latest ones, they weren't too bad. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if it would be my favorite underrated game, but I mean, it's just a weird question. It was like, I don't know. So, I guess that's what I have to say about that. I mean, there are a lot of underrated games out there. I don't think I could pick one that's my favorite. But, it is what it is, though. Oh, no. My favorite underrated game is Postal 2. There you go. Checkmate. How long have you been on YouTube? I joined YouTube on June 28th, 2006. 8 years. What's my favorite video that I have made? Well, the favorite video I've made was probably the one where I talked about The Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. That got so much views, but the thing that's the favorite about it is the like and dislike ratio. That's like the worst like-dislike ratio I've ever seen. Never mind in any one of my videos, just that I've ever seen in my life. If you had lots of money, what would you do with it? I'd spend it on video games and WWE stuff. What is it you most dislike? What I dislike the most is probably the people on here who keep, harassing me on stuff just because I disagree with them. Probably those kind of people. They're just so stupid. What kind of advertisements attract your attention? I have ad block installed, so I'm not really into advertisements. I don't really watch them. What's the craziest thing you've ever done for money? I've never done anything for money. Crazy, So that's a weird question. Do you tolerate heat or cold better? I tolerate cold better. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I want to get involved. I'm taking a web design course. And I want to, kind of get into that field. So hopefully 5 years from now, I'll be almost done with college. I'll be 21 in 5 years. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be almost done with college. I'll know what I want to do. And I'll, eventually get a good job. And, a nice apartment and everything. What are your top 5 movies? I'm not really a movie person, but I can name 5 good movies from the top of my head. I guess those might be my top 5. Zero Dark 30 was really good. Let's see. I thought Spider-Man 3, the original Spider-Man 3, was actually better than the first two. Let's see. What else? I didn't like Lincoln, actually. Lincoln was, Listen, I'm not a movie person. I only watch 3 or 4 movies per year, if that much. Probably 2. I'm not a movie person. But, yeah, that's not a good question to ask. I'm not a movie person. Actually, Rent was pretty good, so those are 3. Yeah, I can only name 3 good movies, actually, from the top of my head. And, I have to really think about movies, because I don't watch too much movies. And it's just nothing I'm really too interested in. I only watch movies if, my friend's like, hey, want to go to the movies? I'm like, sure. What do you think animals think about humans? I guess they hate us because we freaking, we destroy their environment and we basically are the reason why the environment sucks. So I guess so. What do you say during awkward silences? I don't really say anything. I guess that's a weird question too. Which is the most memorable day you've ever had? Well, I'll tell you the most memorable day I ever had. There's a girl I used to really care about, and 2 years ago, she asked me to dance with her, and that was probably one of the best days of my life. Even though I don't feel the same, even though I don't feel that way towards her anymore, but and she never felt that way towards me. So it was just 4 years of just, liking a girl for no reason. But I think that's the most memorable day I ever had. What books do you plan to read? I don't plan on reading any books. It's the summertime. I only read books when I have to, and if I get an assignment, I just go on Spark Notes. What is one thing you are sure of? I don't understand what you were asking. Okay, one thing I'm sure of is that Nintendo is not too good. Which day of the week do you hate the most? Monday? I think most people would agree with me on that. It used to be Sunday for some reason. I was young and I was like, oh, it's Sunday. You know, my weekend's over. I was so pissed off. But now I think Sunday's fine. If you were an activist, what would you want to protest against? Well, I made a video why smoking should be illegal over a week ago, so maybe I'd protest towards that. How much money do you need to feel rich? Guess $1 million. I guess if you're a millionaire, you're rich, right? What product or service do you think is ridiculously overpriced? Xbox Live Gold. What makes you wake up each morning? My alarm clock. What's the worst meal you've ever had? I'm a picky eater for some reason, for a lot of reasons, and I don't really eat a variety of stuff. But I think the worst meal I ever had was probably this restaurant. It's like some weird health restaurant that my sister picked out. They had curly fries, right? That's the only thing they had that I would eat, and it was all clamped up together. It was all clamped up together, and I was like, what the hell is this stuff? And it didn't taste too good either. What's the most interesting object in your room? Well, this is my room right now. I don't really have too many. Actually, I'll show you. Right here. Oh, all my stuff is gonna trample. Okay, I have a fossil that I picked out many years ago. I don't know if you could see it, but the white stuff over here. Yeah, I know that sounds wrong, but you know, like the white parts over here, those are actually fossils. So I guess that's the most interesting object that I have in my room. Are there any places you were afraid to visit? Not really. What's your opinion on PewDiePie? Watch the video. What's the first thing you would do if you were the opposite sex for one day? I'd probably lift up my shirt.